Welcome everybody to a new live stream. My name is MrHurriicane and today we're going to play some of the Denver Broncos franchise. Good to be here with all of you today on this Thursday, listening to my own echo. How's it going? We have a special live stream today. I've really been thinking about, different content I can bring to the channels and mostly to my second channel. But with this being week 17, for a team that's 4-11, there's not a lot of drama here. No one's really, as worried about this game as, others in a more competitive season. So I thought, this would be a fun game to just stream. Switch up the formula, stream it, and do a more unique episode that can also be served as an experiment for, something else. I don't want to turn like this series into a live stream series or any kind of a hybrid, but I definitely want to look at stuff on the second channel, things that I can stream and then bring to a channel as I edit the stream down into a more compact and efficient video. So we're kind of testing that out today, getting to hang out a little bit, doing a fun stream, and we will get through this game, recap the season, and then Saturday I'll be doing the off-season live stream. Now, if these streams aren't your thing or you miss some of it, don't worry. You can watch the stream when it's done, but I'll also be editing this down into a video that'll be posted tomorrow, and that'll also help serve as kind of part of the experiment for me, seeing how this format would work for a video series. So with that being said, everybody, welcome to today's action. Good to have all of you here on, short notice. I posted a few hours ago I wanted to do this. And I'm looking forward to how this turns out and how the video ends up and what everybody thinks about it. What's this song called? This is in the YouTube audio library, and this is called One Night Away. It's a new one. I like it a lot. Alright, I think everything is just about set up. If you haven't already done so, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you do subscribe, it'll drop a little something here in the tip jar, which I'd like to see better on my end here. And why are the comments not showing up on this screen? This is really inconsistent. BC Johnson going off tonight? Oh man. He might, but my prediction is Irv Smith, 80+ yards and a touchdown tonight, Thursday night football. Channel members and Broncos on Saturday. So what I'm thinking right now is I'll do the off season at like 2 o'clock, and I'll do the channel member stream a bit earlier than that. So I'll probably do that channel member stream at either noon or 12:30. It'll run for about an hour, give myself a breather, prepare for the off season. So I'd say probably 12 o'clock channel members, 2 o'clock off season. Trade for Ollie Sparks across series. Why not? Good luck tonight. May the best team win. I sure hope the best team wins. I hate to see the worst team win tonight. Might ruin my whole night. Yeah, I'll be a little bit busy on Saturday, but it won't be too bad. Just an off season and channel member stream. Be pretty easy. Watching this at work? No, don't be quiet, Brandon. Get everybody else to watch. Do I think Cousins can keep up the hot streak? I think so. I think that he's been playing really well, and the play calling has been a lot better, and everything has just been a lot more smooth, and they're able to use Dalvin Cook while still getting the receivers their touches. They're finding that happy medium right now, and that's, I think, where they have to exist when for Cousins to play well. Ready to see the Vikings choking on national TV tonight? I mean, if that happens, I will be mentally and physically prepared for it. But probably unhappy. Very unhappy if that happens. How many picks have you thrown this year? No comment. Steven, thank you for the super chat. One moment while I open up this super chat screen in case I missed something. Surprised by the Golden Gophers this year? In some ways, yes. Usually by now they'd have, lost to a team that they shouldn't have. They've had a pretty easy schedule, but I still think it says something when you can win all these games that you should. It's tough, no matter who you are. Like the Patriots, I know they have a cupcake schedule, but to win 7 games in a row is still difficult, although their schedule is a little ridiculous. I can't believe it exists. But it feels like so many of the teams succeeding right now have easy schedules. The Packers and Vikings have all won pretty easy, lopsided games. I just feel like there are so many awful teams in the NFL this year. Hey, Craniac, thank you for the super chat. New camera? No, this is the same one I've been using for like 6 years. It's a trooper. It's just now it's 1080p. I'm streaming in higher bit rate and resolution ever since the move. Got much better internet here. Pretty happy about that. Craniac, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Kane, hope the move went well. It has. Yeah, everything went about as smooth as you could hope for. I've enjoyed the series. I'm excited to see what you do going into year 2. Good luck to the Vikings tonight. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you for that. Very excited for year 2. I'm really anxious to get to our first draft and to see what we can make happen. So the only way to get closer is if we start wrapping things up here and getting to today's game. So we have some upgrading to do, starting with Devontae Booker. You'll get some chances today, but I'm probably going to start playing a lot more of the backups we don't see a ton of. I'd like, at least one full game here to see guys like Noah Fant. Like Jake Butt has been really good this year. I don't think that there'd be too much disagreement that you've got to Jake Butt deserved to play as much as he did this season, leading us in touchdown catches and being so good in the red zone. But still, Noah Fant should be the future of that position, or at least have a significant role moving forward. So today he's going to start. We're also going to see Richie James Jr. I signed him at the end of last episode. I did so because I like his speed and athleticism. I feel that he's a good run after the catch threat. And actually, wouldn't be a bad running back. Just gonna say, with 83 ball carrier vision, 81 elusiveness, I'm not against Richie James eventually playing running back. But for now, he's a wide receiver and a 70 overall one. Oh, speed just went up? All that route running? Sometimes you just get an awesome roll. And that was it. Richie James. Colby Wadman, accurate. Cummings 2.0. Perry was a little bit quicker, but I see the comparison there. See some questions here about Jake Butt, not Jake Butt, Drew Lock. I'm not really sold on keeping him for the future. I don't think he's been good enough, and compared to some of the quarterbacks in this upcoming class, it's hard to pick Lock over them if you get a shot at someone like Jesse Heikkinen. Right now, Heikkinen is at the top of my board. If he is there, hard to see him not being the pick. Now, with quarterback being in need, I'm also going to finish out the scouting here on the rest of the quarterbacks in the offseason, because I don't know if Heikkinen will go number 1 or what. These drafts at quarterback are very unpredictable, and I want at least a few here in the early rounds that I like. There are some in the mid rounds that are intriguing. Now, keep in mind, the round 1 talent here, that's a bug. There's a way to fix it. I'm not going to do it, because right now I think it offers a nice little difficulty to the series, not knowing the true value of these players. So it makes it tougher for me. I don't mind that challenge. But still, if you look at these top 3s, there are some really good quarterbacks. Sean Sylvan, 21 years old from Texas A&M. Definitely interested in him if we miss out early on. There's also Tanner Daughtry, who has good accuracy medium and accuracy deep. So if you want to stretch the field, he's a good quarterback to have. But certainly the top of my board, that is Jesse Heikkinen. Gotta catch up to some stuff here. Someone asked me about my favorite Viking of all time. It would have to be Randy Moss. Loved watching Randy Moss growing up, and I didn't realize at the time, being so young, just how rare of a player he was, and I've still never seen anyone come close to him. Not that other receivers haven't been great, like Calvin Johnson and some of the others that have come through over the years, but Randy did things that I've still never seen anybody else do. His route running, size, speed, athleticism, football IQ, you name it. He's the most talented wide receiver in NFL history, and there's no going against that. You can say Jerry Rice is better, but he's not more talented than Moss. What's up, Matt 10? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Everybody, Matt 10 has been a big part of this series, helping with sliders, and I'm currently on, I'm not sure if it's your newest set, but I'm on patch 1.15, I believe. And his slider work has been crucial to getting the series where it's at right now. So big thank you to Matt 10 and all your contributions to not only this series, but the community, because the community needs people like you so we can maximize our enjoyment of this game. I think it's really important what you and the rest of the guys at OS do. So thank you to Matt 10, everybody. Let him know you appreciate what he's done. Also got a new channel member here, and that is Ryan. Thank you. Looks like a second month member. Appreciate that. OJ Howard to Seattle. I'd be all for it. If they're not going to throw him the ball, set him free. Let him go to Seattle. I'd love to see it. Just not New England though. They don't need him. I turned off Superstar Abilities Logan because I thought it threw off the overall balance of the game, and especially on All Madden, I felt like it was a greater negative than a positive. I think at All Pro, the abilities are a bit more contained, but on All Madden, like, players are already really good. Like, CPU, high-rated players are good. They don't need the boost. And I think when you look at what we've done this year with Von Miller, there's not, you know, we're not missing anything from Von Miller. He leads the team in sacks with 16.5. He has 25 tackles for loss. Like, he's still been an elite top-tier player, not needing abilities to get him there. Why not New England? Because I want to see them earn it a little bit harder. I love the trade, though, for Mohamed Sanu. I like Sanu. I like seeing him on a different team now. That'll highlight him a little bit more. So I'm totally cool with the move to get him. Yeah, Bradley Chubb could be a Pro Bowler in here, and he has only a half sack less than what's his face? Von Miller. Forgot his name. So there's a chance that he leads the team in sacks after all is said and done here. So Royce Freeman will start again, but I want to see a little bit of Mike Boone today. Thank you. We just had 2 Zacharys become members within seconds of one another. To the Zachs out there, thank you very much. Appreciate that. To the 2 new members that have also helped accomplish a little goal here. I was just messing around with that, seeing how it would go. Appreciate that. Do I think Madden will ever fix sim stats? I mean, probably, but the timetable of this stuff is important too, and we've been just begging for improvements in some of these areas, and nothing but radio silence on a lot of those. Deshaun Hamilton, Andre Holmes, Tim Patrick. I do like this setup here. I've seen a little crate craft in the last few episodes. He's just not separating like others do, so not going to give him as many snaps. But we're going to feature Mike Boone a little bit today. Hope you don't mind. Eric, thank you for becoming the newest member to the channel. Appreciate that. I have not seen what Sabo has done this year with Madden on PC. I tried it, though, in the winter of last year, and I can't remember if it was his mod. It might have been. I used someone's mod. It was some authenticity related mod, and I saw some of the things they were able to do with it, and I was impressed, but I still felt like the game had so much to overcome, and the patch didn't just fix everything by default. So I'm like, you know what, I'm done, and I don't regret that decision whatsoever. All right, so perhaps in the second half I'll also start to find playing time for a few more players, but I think it's time for us to start playing. We got new members here. Wesley, thank you. A lot of members today. Already like one of the most channel member heavy live streams. I appreciate that, everybody. channel member live stream this Saturday. For those of you that aren't aware, I do a channel member stream every month where I just sit down with the members. Sometimes I talk about things going on behind the scenes here, go through some ideas. But a lot of it is just a chill live stream, a lot of Q&A, and just talking about video games, sports, whatever. I don't think I want to do any more contracts this year. I think I'm set until the off season, so no need to go through this. We can get into the game. I should give Patrick a few more looks for sure, and you know what? Man, Holmes is good, but being in his 30s, he's not going to, like, be an impact player for, like, a super long time. We're going to get Patrick a few more opportunities. 6'5", 90 speed. Let's get Patrick out there. All right, so we have the Raiders today. Broncos and Raiders, the season finale. And just the last thing I'm going to check here. We have, obviously, very good chance that we pick very high in this draft. And it looks like we could pick anywhere between, like, 2 and, like, 8, depending on how this goes. So, we'll just see. If the Raiders come to play today and they beat us by 30, this it wouldn't make us too upset probably. But also for channel members, I don't do these as much as I want to yet, but I do post some early links to videos. Sometimes I get a couple done in the same day, and so I'll give access early to channel members. I don't allow them to leave like comments or anything for spoiler, but I, like the last Broncos episode, had some early access to the members, and that happens on occasion. Tank for Tua. We could work on that. I couldn't think of a catchy tank for Jesse Heikkinen line. The channel members are $4.99 a month. If you do choose to become a channel member, it does help support the channel. This is what I do full time, and that just helps, you know, keep this going. And one thing I will say though is if you become a channel member, check to see if it's on recurring payments. I don't like when recurring payments are on by default, but pretty much everything is. So just be aware. I haven't created the Discord server, although it would make a lot of sense because I don't feel like moderating it. I don't feel like running it. And I think I'm about as available as I want to be for like conversation and stuff like that with the streams and Twitter and the content. I don't want to overextend myself, so I'd rather not have a Discord server personally, at least right now. All right. We can probably cut the music and get to the game. Please let me know if the game needs to be louder. I like, you know, my traditional audio mix for the edited version of this, so I'd appreciate that if you guys just let me know if it was too quiet. For this part, yeah, the crowd audio's going. I'm blocking my TV sensor here, I guess. Getting things situated. I got some notes in front of me for some stats. And let me see here. The game needs to be a little louder. If Noah Fant isn't starting, I will adjust that. He absolutely needs to be. How's this? I am not a Bronco fan, no. I'm a Minnesota Viking fan, which has been a little bit easier these last few weeks. Kane, thoughts on my Nats? Ah, they're so close. So close. Win the first 2 in Houston? That's a shock. I was watching the Wolves last night. Shout out to the Timberwolves and Karl Anthony Towns for withstanding Kyrie Irving's 50-point night. There was no scoring for like 2 hours in that game. Strasburg was doing pretty well. Verlander going strong. And then all of a sudden, the Nats just go crazy in the late innings. It was a lot of fun to watch. As someone who is not an Astros fan, of course. I am a Twins fan. A very sad Twins fan. Hey, Rico, how's it going? Appreciate you joining. And with that, everybody, welcome to Week 17 here with the Broncos franchise. We are starting with possession today. It's Devontae Booker. We're going to make a move and get up to the 35-yard line. Good field position for the final start of the year for Drew Lock, and likely his last start for quite some time. I am looking to get a new quarterback on this team next season. I feel there are some really good chances in this draft to find an upgrade. As a Mariners fan, shut your mouth about being sad. Okay, good point. Good point. Although the titles came before I was born, I don't know what a title feels like, smells like. That's why I play these games. It is 1st and 10. Oh! Right away, the hard count. Offsides against Oakland. Actually, neutral zone infraction. My bad. One thing I really enjoyed about this slider set, too, from Mat 10 is penalties playing a greater role, whether it be a holding call, ruining a possession, pass interference in the end zone, getting free plays here with the hard count. So let's get underway. Lock's first time back to pass. It is floated, and it goes off the hands of... No, it can't be already! Richie James Jr. hurt after one play. Please be okay. I signed him last episode, and I really wanted to see him play today. So, Mike Boone checks into the game. And it's going to be a sweep Boone's way. And he's taken down by Cleveland Farrell after a minimal gain. You may have to play Fant out wide. I can experiment a little bit. Well, Richie James Jr. will not be continuing this game. I still want to see him in the preseason, but that kind of stinks. I was going to feature him a bit in this episode. So, Andre Holmes and Tim Patrick will get a lot of the snaps now. Maybe some River Craycraft. And it's 3rd down and 5. Over the middle, and Tim Patrick. That might be a bad Madden spot there. Nope, 1st down. When is Kalispell coming back? You know, I love that you asked that question. When is Kalispell coming back? When would you guys want it back? How's tonight's sound? Does that work for everybody else? I mean, I finished the newest episode today. If you want it today, I could post it. Yesterday. Oh, that's going to be a little tough, Luke. Can I just say I also appreciate all of you being here because it feels like Christmas to me. It really feels like Christmas. You know why? Because I've bought in to the Call of Duty Modern Warfare hype, and I am so happy you're here to help me pass the time. Streaming is... The time literally flies when I stream. I feel like 2 hours go by like nothing, so I appreciate all of you being here. And Cameron, thank you. Richie James is hurt. Shame, should have built the fort. Now we can build one. Richie James can get us started, thankfully. Had to take a phone call. What did I miss? Christian, you missed Richie James Jr. getting hurt on the first play from scrimmage. And here we are, back to pass. Lobbing downfield, and Locke cannot connect with Andre Holmes. It falls incomplete. Are you going after Jesse? Right now the plan is to try and go after Jesse Heikkinen this offseason. 3rd and 5 for the Denver Broncos. And, uh-oh, that's risky and knocked away from Mike Boone. So, a 1-for-4 start for Drew Lock. And we will kick this one away to the Oakland Raiders. Colby Wadman with the boot. It's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. I did see the Emmanuel Sanders trade. I love it. Although it makes an already tough to figure out fantasy offense even tougher. I thought you said you were not allowed to draft him. After talking about it with Blackjack a little bit and seeing some of the feedback, I think I'm okay with it. At first, I didn't want to because, like, we know Heikkinen is, you know, a really talented quarterback, but it's not like there are a lot of surprises in these off seasons for the most part. You see the top 3 grades, the CPU sees them as well, so I think we're just going to go treat it like everything else, treat it normally. Plus, I don't know his ratings. I just know that it's Jesse Heikkinen, and I know Blackjack isn't going to make him like a 68 overall or something like that. Like, Blackjack handled all the customization there, and all the ratings are, I've never seen them. Ever. So a face mask call on Justin Simmons will give Oakland an automatic first down here at the 47. Why not use real draft classes? I prefer to use generated ones or slightly custom because I like having my own universe and not having to not drawing from real life. I don't find that to be all that interesting, to be perfectly honest. Another give. This is how you tank right here, running on 2nd and 14 as Doug Martin is shaken up on the play. Neither of these teams really want to win this game. 3rd down and 11. Raiders at their own 45. Carr, plenty of time. He's going deep. Double coverage and knocked away from Antonio Brown. Justin Simmons was over there. So was Kareem Jackson, who has been extremely good for us this season. The draft class is not public, Brandon. I will make it public after I do my stream. The reason why it's not public is because I don't want anybody going through it and then telling me any information while I draft or spoiling it for the chat or anything. So, no score, 1 drive in for each team. And on 1st and 10, we run it up the middle. Here goes Royce Freeman, who has picked up the pace for our running game here down the stretch. We finally found a way to get him going. He's now over 500 rushing yards on the season. And I'm not sure if any of you realize this, but we actually have a top 5 rushing offense in the league. And part of that, I think, is that the league as a whole isn't running for a lot of yards. But also, we had a lot of success early on with Phillip Lindsay, and then down the stretch, we've also had a couple nice games. This one's lobbed, and the catch is not made by Holmes, as we're trying to make some tough plays, and we're 1 for 5 throwing. What's up with the cup? That's just a little tip jar. It's kind of a fun little thing here in Streamlabs. If you send a super chat, become a member, subscribe to the channel, it drops a little something there in the cup. Just a cool little thing there for the stream. And now on 2nd and 10, there's going to be a penalty, isn't there? If you throw that normally, you need to get it out quicker. Oh, it's an offensive pass interference. Okay. I've never been called for OPI on one of those, only ineligible downfield, so I'd like to just see it again. But, that's a good call. Patrick over here, it's an RPO, so Patrick is run blocking unless the ball is thrown, and I throw it a bit late because they had 2 linebackers over here. I should have handed it off. I kind of forced that one. Trade for a nice 3rd down running back. I will likely look for a 3rd down back in the offseason. I feel with Lindsay and Freeman, we have 2 solid backs, but you know me. Gotta have more than 2 as Locke is going down. Benson Mayowa on the pressure, and there was literally nowhere to go with the football. What's my playbook? I'm using the Denver playbook right now, but I'm going to be building my own for the next season and beyond. And I have a lot of things I hope to achieve with that playbook. I do want to feature our fullback Andy Janovich quite a bit, For those of you that have watched the last few episodes, you've seen the difference in the offense when Janovich is on the field. He's been able to help lead the way for a much improved running game, and I'm not going to lose sight of that going into the future. You know you want touchdown, Teddy Kane. I mean, I will not deny that. How many seasons do you think you'll do? It's very difficult to say. I'd love to get through like 8 if possible. I don't know what's going to happen on this game as that is broken up. Both teams having issues just completing passes today. And I'm also unsure if I'll be moving on to a new patch or anything with the new season. I've had a lot of fun games in this one, and I'm just not sure if the newest patches have improved things at all. But it's 2nd down and 10, and they'll keep it on the ground, not getting a ton. Jalen Richard. Trying to protect the sticks on 3rd down and 8. Carr out of the shotgun. Good protection. Carr's going to go long again, and he's got a step on Parks, but he overthrows Tyrell Williams. Incomplete. Could the Raiders be a team that is in the running for somebody like Jesse Heikkinen? Imagine that, having to play against him. Hey, Wesley, thank you for the super chat. It looked like it got sent twice. Mini at Iowa later this year. Who you got? I don't know. Iowa's always a really tough matchup. And, ooh, nice move, Craycraft. One moment. Craycraft up to the 36-yard line. I don't know. I might have to go Minnesota because I think while, like, the defenses are going to be good, I think where Minnesota can set themselves apart is with their receivers. Tyler Johnson, he's really good. Can't wait to see where his draft stock ends up. But I think this Minnesota offense can be good enough to be combined with this defense to make for a team that can actually win some of these big rivalry matchups they normally lose. And thank you, Luke, for becoming the newest member to the channel. Thank you for all the members and the super chats so far, everybody. I greatly appreciate that. I'd also appreciate us getting a few more yards than we have. The offseason, Jonathan, will be streamed live this coming Saturday, just a couple days from now. Catch made by Andre Holmes, and that is a 1st down. I'd be really surprised if Ngakoue got traded. I don't know why they do that when they could just give him a big pile of money instead. That's what I'd do. I want to go through all the weak eye, strong eye, and eye formations to find if there's anything hidden, maybe in some of those playbooks that I don't see in this one. But I really enjoy the power running. Here's just another good example. It works really well with Royce Freeman. I want to run it again. 3rd down and 1. Up the middle with Royce Freeman. He gets the yard and not much more. Yep, you can create your own playbooks. You just can't do formation subs from them, I believe, in this game, which is kind of strange. You can do that on NCAA 14, just saying. I did it yesterday. I edited formation subs yesterday, actually, yes. On the catch here is Noah Fant, a little run-pass option. Fant had a really nice touchdown. Was that the Week 16 episode or the previous one? I can't remember exactly, but it was a very nice first score in his career, and I wanted to make sure he got some playing time here in this game, just so we can see, you know, where he's at, put a bow on his rookie season, and Locke will barely get this one away. If I had a little more time, likely would have tried getting that one to Fant. This definitely looks like two teams tanking. You're not wrong, Luke. Here's a handoff to the outside. Royce Freeman lowers his head and rumbles down to the 25-yard line. This sure feels like a game where we're going to have more rushing yards than passing. One of the things I love about Week 17, too, in real NFL is teams, especially bad ones, they just empty the playbook. They'll call everything that they drew up they never got to call during the season, like a fullback screen or some left tackle pass. Like, Week 17 is must-watch football for that reason alone. A lot of it, too, is they try to get all sentimental on you. Like, the Bills, they try to get Kyle Williams a touchdown, right? I know the Vikings tried with Jared Allen a few years ago. There we go, an open look for Noah Fant, and the catch is made around the 10-yard line. I don't believe I'll be trading Sanders because he's not under contract after this season, so I'll either sign him to keep him or let him go. And here's the final play of the opening quarter, trying to make that first man miss with Boone, and we get one. Play Joe Flacco at wide receiver. I am not doing that. Kyle Williams did score. Okay. A lot of times they fail. Or no, I remember Kyle Williams, didn't he have like a 20-yard play or something like that? Can't remember if he scored. I can't remember the play in particular. I remember him getting the ball and getting like a lot of yards on a carry. Here we go to the air, and Locke stepping up. I tried to step through, and again he goes down. I'm telling you, I cannot wait to find the new center in this offseason. Connor McGovern has allowed 20 sacks that the game will recognize. It's likely been more. And he has been getting destroyed up front all season. And you might say, well, play somebody else. Well, that somebody else would be like a 55 overall. And I just don't think that's going to be much of an improvement, if any. So, we continue on. Final game of the season. It is 3rd and goal. And here is Locke up top in the end zone. Intercepted. Trying to throw a jump ball for Andre Holmes. It's picked off by Garyon Conley. Harold, thank you for the super chat. Is the Chargers 5-year rebuild the longest one you've done besides the rebuilds on your second channel? The Vikings franchise went 6. That was Madden 12. So other than that one, I didn't force it in the red zone. It was a single coverage with a tall receiver. The game just decided to give me a bad outcome. Plus, it's week 17 for a 4-win team. It's fine. Now they'll try an RPO, and that worked, hitting the quick pass to Tyrell Williams. Oakland has no rushing yards so far. Won't get any here as they drop 3 yards. Antonio Brown lines up inside on 2nd down. They'll try a off-tackle run, and there's nothing there. That's one of the things I wanted to take a look at in the offseason. Like the running games, I've seen some decent games on these sliders, but there have also been a lot of completely non-existent ones. 3rd down and 16 now for the Raiders. Have to get across the 44. And Bradley Chubb knocks it loose. They'll keep the football, though. That means Chubb has now tied Von Miller with 16.5 sacks on the season. A rooting interest in the XFL? I don't think so. Remember back in older Maddens where, like, this was a thing, right? I'm not imagining it. Like, the stadiums would better reflect the true attendance numbers and there'd be more empty seats. Everything here is a sellout. This game is terrible. There's got to be something better to do in Denver, Colorado on this January afternoon or whatever it is. There's got to be something better to do. Do I like soccer? I don't know enough about it. I need someone to hold my hand and teach me the way, basically. Second down, lock, right on target. And there is Tim Patrick, gain of 7. I just ran for 120 on 20 carries with Eckler on these sliders. I'm more so talking about the CPU running game. I have no complaints about mine. I think it's actually been really good for the user running game. It feels like there's a true grind to get yards, and occasionally, if you play a run perfectly, you can pop one for a good pickup. It feels like those 20 and 30 yard runs, though, are more earned than on other sliders that I've played on. Corey just says, Bubba Franks. No context. I remember Bubba Franks back in the day, of course. Oh, man, had circle. Wasn't looking that way until it was too late. I remember a lot of those old Packer players. How about I will raise you from your Bubba Franks to how about a Gilbert Brown? When's the last time he played for the Packers? Second down and 21 yards to go. Catch made Deshaun Hamilton, trying to become the team's leading receiver, but he's a bit shy of Emmanuel Sanders. Hey, Batmac, thank you. What software do I use to edit? I use Vegas Pro, personally. I've just been with it for so long, and I don't want to learn a new program at all. I really like what I can do with Vegas. And my workflow is so optimized, and I just have everything where I want it, so I'll be using that for hopefully a long time yet. Sam Gatto, of course I remember Sam Gatto. After Amon Green, they shuffled running backs like every year. Good cutback here by Mike Boone, and that is going to take us into Raider territory, and now Boone is shaken up on the play. So both teams impacted by injuries here early on. We've lost Richie James and now Boone. They had Martin go down. I don't think he's returned as Richard has handled most of the touches. Play action now. I'm getting rid of this one. And Fant broke a tackle and picks up about 5. Now Devontae Booker carries, and I love the effort there from number 29 here in this Week 17 game. Okay, Boone's going to be okay. He'll probably come back after halftime then. Cannot take a sack. 2 deep safeties here for a very soft defensive line, too. It almost feels too good to be true. Oh, the safety came over. I knew it. It was a trap the whole time. Intercepted. And Booker can make the tackle. Pick 6, Oakland. I knew it. I knew it. I couldn't trust that off coverage. LaMarcus Joyner, pick 6. I gotta watch it again. I should have thrown smoke there. I shouldn't even run the curl, because I had to wait for him to run the route. Should have thrown it just smoke, hit a juke, hope we get it. Who is the best at tanking? I'd say we're winning that contest right now. 7-0 Oakland. Why don't we just not throw an interception now? We'll run it. Freeman makes a move and falls beyond the 30-yard line. Play action now for Locke, getting outside the pocket. And he's going to keep this one himself, getting the first down. I'm also going to completely revamp like what we have in the shotgun here because I don't like all these, it's so timing focused. I need a few different things to switch it up, like throw some mesh concepts in there. I don't want everything to have to be on schedule with this offense because we're not good enough to run that style. Here's an easy pitch and catch. Tim Patrick now to midfield. First down. This is the Denver playbook. Whenever I do one of these franchises, I always begin with that team's stock playbook, and then I'll make changes after year one. And here is Boone now on the carry, getting 8. Locke has actually been really accurate today, Anthony. He has hit every throw, really, that I've asked him to make. I've just made some mistakes with them. Here we go, Royce Freeman. That's a gain of 4. What do you guys have as a prediction for the final score? I'm going to say final score in this one, someone's going to win the game. I don't know who. I got 17-14. Here's Locke. We're going to lob it out now. And Fant unable to make the catch. Let's see. 2017 Raiders, 17-14, 17-13, 7-6. Second down. Fant. Can I just talk about how much I don't like the way these routes are run? Like, stick is a very good concept, and I can't stand the way it works in Madden. We have, first of all, he could just stop right here. I don't know why he doesn't. It's an option route, but he takes it outside where the defenders are. So I'm, one, counting on him to do the right thing, because there's no reason to leave that zone. You found it. I'm not sure if, like, a higher route running or something will actually have him stop there, but he didn't stop. I should try that. Just, like, 99 overall player. Run that again. Although I'm pretty sure that it would perform about the same. Might need some extra time here. Third down and 9 for Locke. And he's going down. I had it too. I just didn't get that extra split second. Benson Mayowa has 3 sacks already. Let's see. Into the wind. I can't try it with McManus in that case. And I don't really care enough about the time here in this meaningless game, so I'm not going to run the clock down. They're just going to run one play, and we're going to halftime anyway. Look at that punt. What I can try for here, though, is to get the safety. Engage 8. Throw it long. If you want the touchdown, it's yours. Play action. Oh, they threw it. Make the stop, though. We're not going to get embarrassed right here. You know what? I'm going to use up all my timeouts. I want them to show that they're not going to screw this up completely. I formation. We're going to blitz, actually. Handoff up the middle. All right, you win this round, Oakland. We'll go to halftime after all. I grew up playing Madden in low resolution, so I thought the all-out blitz was called engage fight. It kind of makes sense. What's the difference in formation choice and coach pick? So when you're picking by formation, it shows the list of all the formations. Whereas coach pick is just like plays that the game thinks would be smart for this situation is all. And it comes from a variety of formations and personnel groupings. Put Wadman at quarterback. That would probably help the tanking a little bit. Wow, look at those yards. Oakland winning with 27 yards. It is time for a halftime snack break. Ooh, I wonder who won the division. The Chiefs at least won one game against the Chargers. Snack time. Hey, I see some cashews in the tip jar. Thank you, guys. Mad Max. I think routes are affected by whichever route running plus awareness. I just wonder if his ratings cause him to do an option route incorrectly. That might be a little bit deeper than Madden can handle. I don't know, though. I do know that Madden's injured reserve rules are correct. I put David Johnson on the IR in my Buccaneers franchise. And I did so in the preseason. And when you do that in the preseason, that player is not eligible to be returned. For a player to be returned, he has to be on injured reserve for 8 weeks, but he has to also be on the 53-man roster in week 1. So, be aware. Preseason injury, if you want that player back, you can't put him on IR. And if I looked back, like last year, Hunter Henry came back late in the year for the Chargers. They didn't put him on IR in the preseason because they wouldn't have been able to return him for a playoff run. So they had to carry him on the roster the whole year. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Kane, what is for dinner? I don't know. I've been thinking about that. Got the Vikes tonight. The real question is, can I hold out on dinner until 7:30? The answer is no. Unless I snack. Yeah, I'd like to do a Channel Hall of Fame, Zach. For sure, it's something that a lot of us have wanted to see for a while. And I still wanted to do Kane's Classics, where I went back to, like, classic episodes that are long forgotten by now, but would still be fun to see again. The Raiders on second down might look to go deep. Oh, it's comeback routes, and the catch made by Tyrell Williams takes him to midfield. Prediction for the Vikings game, I think they win 30-12. I think that would cover the spread, wouldn't it? I do think Adrian Peterson gets in the end zone this time. Leo, thank you for the super chat. I'll stream the off-season this Saturday, early afternoon. It's first down. Not much there. I don't think it's much of a surprise they're not playing Haskins, because I think there is some harm that can be done by playing somebody before they're ready, as that is nearly intercepted. If they don't feel he's ready, then there's no need to rush him out there with a team that's not very good. Like, I don't know. I feel there are still some quarterbacks that benefit from a year on the bench. Carr, over the middle, connecting, and that'll move the chains. The Raiders actually seem to be passing the ball a lot better in this game compared to the season opener, that Week 1 matchup. They didn't score much in that game, I know that much. Antonio Brown didn't have a huge impact on it. Here's 1st and 10 as they go short for a first down ahead to the 21. How's my fantasy team doing, Kane? Right now, 6-1. I know it's only 1 loss. I do 1 season-long league, and then I play daily fantasy on the weekends. Downfield, Carr to Williams again, and denied right at the goal line after beating Kareem Jackson on the deep end. Hands off to Jalen Richard, and the Oakland Raiders have increased their lead here in Week 17. And who knows, maybe they'll pitch this shutout. I remember some things from my Raiders franchise. Actually, one of the things I remember most is me signing Danny Amendola and Terrell Owens. Good times. Amendola made some ridiculous catches in that series. Also remember the quarterbacks, of course, Cannon and Papa Yiannopoulos. All right, 14-0, and we're going to come out and run the football. Nice play, Royce Freeman with a face mask. Yeah, I think Hawkinson's solid. I like that they're involving him a decent bit in the passing game, although I thought they would a little bit more against the Vikings. But I guess Marvin Jones was busy catching touchdowns anyway. Intercepted on the outside, and that's a broken tackle. Back the other way. Touchdown. Threw it right to him. He had decent position. We'll have to watch this one again. Wearing Charles Woodson's number 21, too. Nice play, Garyon Conley. Just trying to throw it. He had the position. Just missed. It feels like we're successfully tanking this Week 17 game. 3 interceptions now for Locke. How many does that give him on the season? 20. One of my goals in this episode was to avoid throwing 20 picks with Locke. Mission failed. We'll get him next time. No way Heikkinen falls to us. I mean, it's possible. But if it's not Heikkinen, we have other options. I almost threw a 4th pick right there. I got to at least score today, though. Hey, Jace, thank you for the super chat. What were your top 3 favorite franchises? Vikings, Jaguars, Chargers. Really enjoyed those series. Third down and long for Denver. They have not passed the ball well today. Locke stepping up and through now, running for it, and that effort is not going to count. Is it Garrett Bowles? Is it? It's Garrett Bowles with the holding call. Of course. So a 3rd and 21 for Denver. We're going to have to get outside the pocket again. Lock, chase down. What can you do? Not much. Now, I'm going to need you to listen carefully here. Garrett Bowles has averaged like a holding call a game. But I think he's going to be a starter again next season. And the reason why is because when he's not holding, he's actually protecting Drew Lock fairly well, I'd say. He is not very high in the sacks allowed this year. And I don't think the pressure is really coming from that left side as much. So 21-0, and the pass is hauled in here near the sideline for a gain of 6. SportsFan98, have you solved the early first grade thing yet? It's a bug. I think if I reload the draft class, it'll fix it. I don't really care though. Like, it just adds a layer of difficulty, and I don't mind that. I don't think it's that unfair. I'll just deal with it. Handoff. Hit in the backfield. No gain. Did I miss a super chat? Oh, LP Master, I definitely missed yours. Hey, Kane, been watching since your Jags series. Just wanted to say keep up the good work. I appreciate that, LP Master. And I appreciate all of the super chats that have been sent today. You guys have been very generous. Please don't be on us. Nice. Why don't I add the real draft class? Because, like, look back at past series I've done. The Nate Bells of the world, the Nataki Masons, Reggie Shepard. I want players that don't exist anywhere else. I want players that we don't know about before the series begins, don't know about them before the draft class, but then we see them play, and now we have many channel icons as a result. It wouldn't have the same effect if I simply drafted Tua, and he helped build the team. Too much of his story has already been written. I like the story to be written here in the series. 1st and 10 and downfield. That's a connection. Carr to Antonio Brown. I've been impressed by Carr in this game. Hard not to be. The Raiders might go up 28-0. And here goes Jalen Richard picking up around 7 yards. Wasn't expecting any kind of a blowout here. We've played some really close games lately. 2 straight overtime matchups. This will probably not be the 4th in a row, or 3rd in a row. As this catch is made for a touchdown, Tyrell Williams is in. Carr's been money today. How's this team got 4 wins? Carr's playing great. Harmon Whitaker, of course. One of the best undrafted talents that come through the series. My goal is to score at this point. We have like the same total yards and they're winning 28-0. They have 2 pick sixes. And it's just been very lopsided. I cannot stand it. Like, everything is a timing route almost. 2nd down, and Locke missed this one. I threw it early. The game doesn't like when you do that. Zach Bogan. Oh, man, I haven't heard Zach Bogan's name in a long time. That's a true throwback there. He was excellent. 3rd down now. Missed again for Noah Fant. Trying to hit one of those quick seams. Who wants to see what, like, Kevin Hogan can do? Maybe it's not much. Might actually call some two-man here with the way they've gotten some passes down the field. It is 1st and 10, Oakland. A handoff, and not much there on the pickup. And Josh Jacobs is shaken up now. Why isn't he getting playing time? Playing behind Richard and Doug Martin. Now Richard's going to get every carry. Richard hits. Oh, come on. These face mask calls get so old. Leo, thank you. Would you ever make a video about your favorite players from all your franchises and series? That would be pretty fun. I think the Hall of Fame is the way to do that. It's a way to highlight all these players and to show some of their best moments and everything. Uh-oh, Jalen Richard getting daylight. Gain of 8. Yeah, the Hall of Fame is something I really seriously want to get going with, as Richard doesn't find any room outside. Best players is one thing, favorite is another. That's very true. There are plenty of favorites that would never make the Hall of Fame. Play action on 3rd down, and Von Miller will retake the team lead in sacks, now with 17 and a half on the season. And that's about the only thing we've had to celebrate today amidst a 28-0 struggle. A Hall of Fame and then a Hall of Kane. I like it. It'd just be like all the 3rd string running backs. The 4-game run for Steven Smiley. Zach Bogan and the return touchdowns. Oh, there was one in my Panthers series. Jamichael Ivory. Yes.
Here we go. 10 logo.
Corey Miller from the Kalispell Dynasty. Well, we've decided to give Kevin Hogan a chance now, and he nearly missed a 6-yard pass, but it was complete nonetheless. CJ Procise. I was so happy to get Procise. You have no idea. Third and short here to begin the 4th. And straight ahead goes Freeman. I don't believe he got it, but that is not going to stop us from going for it. Fourth and inches for the Bronco offense. And Kevin Hogan will sneak it ahead for a 1-yard gain. Handoff now to Boone. And there's just not much there. I know it's like, why would you run at this point and everything, but have you seen our passing game? If you want to see more sacks and fumbles, like, yeah, that's what I can do. Four sacks for Benson Mayowa. Third down and long now for the Broncos offense. Kevin Hogan, can he make something happen? We're still being shut out. And Hogan is taken down. 5 sacks for Benson Mayowa. We can't block him or anybody else. Can you imagine if this team kept Khalil Mack? He just split the double team right there. Like, what can you do? You know what this team needs? A little bit of Joe Flacco. They want me to go for it. Great joke. David Clark, yes. 5-star wide receiver. Turns out he's just an above average kick returner, and that's the extent of what he brought to the Minnesota Gophers. Harlan Regis. Yeah, he's one of those players where it's like if I just had a longer series, we could have like had a true story with him or something like that. And that's why I really want to, you know, focus on one main series on the channel here when I get the opportunity to, and try to take it as far as I can. And I like that I've gotten through this first season pretty quickly. My goal was to have year 1 done by Halloween. And I want to get year 2 done before the end of the year. Hopefully, you know, I don't need as much time because I'm not moving across the country in the middle of a season this time around. When's the last time I went to the gym? Probably, I can tell you when. Carr, downfield. We can't stop a thing. First down across the 50. Last time I can remember going to the gym, look up the day Tim Tebow hit Demaryius Thomas for the game-winning touchdown in that wild card game against the Steelers. That is it, because I watched it there. Handoff, Richard. Von Miller trying to rip the ball out, cannot do it. Richard, 2 yards. Do you run or something? I don't go to the gym. I like to go for walks. That's about it. Handoff, Richard. Broke a tackle. Couldn't convert. Here's a 55-yard try for Daniel Carlson, and he's not going to make this one. It is no good, and that might give us our best chance at scoring as the Raiders effectively cut the field in half for us. Handoff going to Mike Boone as he picks up another 6 yards and is shaken up on the play. The offseason won't be streamed today, Matt. That's going to be Saturday afternoon. Flag on the play. Ruining my first down progress. Who was it? Who was it? Better not be Garrett Bowles. Ron Leary this time. Okay. My thoughts on the Vikings? I think they're a pretty strong team now that they have figured out some things on the offensive side. They still have a very good defense, but they got to show that they can do this against good teams consistently, and last week was a good start. Second down and long. Come on! Benson Mayowa, 6 sacks on the day. We're going to need some offensive line replacements in this offseason. It's just unbelievable the pressure they put on our quarterbacks. And somehow I'm supposed to complete passes in this environment? I'm not sure I'm getting points in this game if I can't get a forced fumble or something. You know, I'm not convinced yet that Kirk's going to get another contract with the Vikings. But last few weeks, he's been very good, so I don't have much to complain about there. Hopefully they're finding, you know, how they can keep him in his comfort zone. But there are going to be games where it's not as easy as it's been these last few weeks. And he's going to have to show a little bit of resiliency when there is pressure. And he's going to have to make tough plays and the right decisions and not just check down and play it safe, protecting, you know, his stats and everything. Not that I think he consciously plays for stats, but it's what his play style looks like when he's not comfortable, when he's not taking chances, and when he's just taking the easy way out of most plays. I think Lamar Jackson is going to be in the MVP race, and I think the Ravens are going to win that division pretty easily. I'd say by at least 2 or 3 games. And I appreciate what he's doing for my fantasy team. It is 3rd down for the Oakland offense here. We're going to bring some pressure, and we will not stop them from converting. They have a very good chance of pitching this shutout. What about the GOAT, Kyle Allen? He does a very good job of handing the ball off to Christian McCaffrey. He's been serviceable. Cam's better, though. Hopefully he's fully healthy soon and we can see Cam do his thing again. I think the Bills are going to be a playoff team. Don't see them as a team that can compete with New England, but I still think that given the soft AFC and their good start, they're going to be a wild card team, 5 seed. Oakland wants to end the game right here if possible. 3rd and 12. They'll hand it off. And the tackle is made by Josie Jewell. And that may be the last time you see a defensive possession for our team here in Season 1. We will get the football back and see if we can actually get on the scoreboard. I haven't been purposely tanking this game. It's just been a hard game. They've created pressure. They've covered our receivers. And when you do those two things, it makes it tough to do much. But shouldn't keep you from doing anything. I think you have to go back pretty far to find the last shutout on the channel where I didn't score. Maybe in the UTSA series. But it's 1st and 10 here. Perhaps last drive of the season. Joe Flacco started our season. He'll end it as well. Complete to Tim Patrick. Gain of 8. There we go. Just had enough time to make that throw. It's again complete to Patrick, who may be our leading receiver today. Not that it's been tough to lead this team in receiving in this game. Flacco, way off the mark. What are you doing? Winning the AFC South, Indianapolis. 2nd down, they decide to bring pressure, and we'll counter with Deshaun Hamilton, but the clock is ticking down. We just want to score, and we have some work to do to get there. 20 seconds remaining. Rolling right. Flacco at the sideline. No! Incomplete for Noah Fant. 15 seconds left. Could this be the final play of our season? Tim Patrick, Jeff Hireman, Jake Butt, River Craycraft, and Royce Freeman are your receivers, with Joe Flacco at quarterback. complete. Craycraft, we're not done yet. First down, Broncos. Looks like the personnel has not changed at all. We'll slide protection here to the right. First and 10. And dropped by Hireman. That would have ended the game. And Flacco is going down, and that is our season. 7 sacks for Benson Mayowa. I don't know, but I think we're all glad this season is now over. It is a 28-0 defeat for Denver here in Week 17. What a mess of a game that was. Wow, that was the most Week 17 game I've ever seen. And there are the two players that could not block Benson Mayowa today, McGovern and Reisner. So that could be it for Drew Lock as our starting quarterback. He did not finish the game, and it's likely we'll be looking for his replacement come the offseason, streamed here in a couple days. But here are the final stats from this forgetful game, as Drew Lock was 11 for 23 with 3 interceptions and 2 pick sixes. Flacco, 4 for 8, 27 yards. Derek Carr was great, 16 for 20. No mistakes on his side. And then running the football. I tried to run the football, and we were okay at it. 23 carries for 94 yards between Freeman and Mike Boone. Receiving, Tim Patrick, 6 catches, 47 yards. We had no passing game. It was impossible to stretch the field. Connor McGovern gave up 6 sacks in 1 game. He will not be the starting center next season. I can't let that happen again. Let's see. I need to get a thumbnail shot for the edited video that I put together. Drew Lock getting sacked sounds like a good thumbnail for this particular episode. Just a little something here. I don't need anything too special. Cool. What about Andrew Luck? I haven't edited him in here in the roster or anything. I'm not too worried about it. You know, the news came out afterwards, so we just roll with it. What happened to Cortland Sutton and Phillip Lindsay? They both got injured. So injuries have affected us a lot down the stretch. And we ended up losing a lot of our skill players here between mid-season and this game. So haven't had Lindsay in a while in this series. Sutton has missed a few games. Sanders got hurt like last episode, I believe it was. So this season is now over. And I'm going to begin recapping it now. This is all going to be one edited video. I'm going to break this stream down into one video to be the last one of this season. If you haven't already done so, please leave a like on the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And the off-season will be streamed 2 o'clock Central Time this Saturday. Am I going to play the Pro Bowl? I didn't even think about that. I don't think so because I want to sim to Super Bowl week. What team would I have done if I didn't do the Broncos? Maybe Washington or Jets? I considered a lot of teams. I don't know. I knew I wanted to do the Bucks, and the Broncos look like a good option for this kind of a series. This is not quite the end of the episode yet. So that was a mess of a game. Will I ever do the Packers? Possibly, for a series. Maybe. I almost went to them in my Matt Pierre series, I believe it was, or Marquise Walker series, but they just didn't have, they switched up some things with their players. Otherwise, I was going to go to the Packers. Got some upgrading to do with the season now over. Bradley Chubb may have made the Pro Bowl. Scheme fit now. Kirkwood was on the practice squad, and so was Damian Ratley. Not bad. And finally, Juwan Winfrey. I think tonight the Vikings should win pretty easily. I don't think Keenum will do well against this defense. I don't know. Adrian, he can still rip off some nice runs. I think he'll find the end zone. But I could see it being very similar to when he played the Vikings when he was a member of the Saints 2 years ago. So now I want to begin the recap portion of the episode. We finish our season 4-12. Not a very good year for Denver. I expected us to lose a lot of games this season given our schedule. And it looks like, now that all is said and done, we're going to be picking anywhere between 2 and 4. We're in a tie here, and we did defeat the Texans. So I'm not sure if that matters, though, for draft positioning, because it's not like a playoff tiebreaker. I don't think that the draft cares about that. I don't know what goes into this decision here, but it's anywhere between 2 and 4, and the roster menu may give us an indication of where our picks are going to be. This screen says 5, and that's just flat out not the case. It can't be. Blackjack's here. How's it going? Good to see you here. Yeah, we can't pick at 5th. That's literally impossible. Yeah, if it goes off a strength of schedule, then your guess is as good as mine. But regardless, the Texans have Deshaun Watson. I don't care if they're ahead of us. They're not picking a quarterback. So let's get into this. We had the number 31 offense this year with the number 12 defense. So over the course of the season, the defense played pretty well, but the offense was just never there for enough support. As far as yards go, obviously being 31st means second worst in total yardage, but I look more so at points, and we were third worst there. So I would call us really the 30th best defense. With that being said, we were still one of the better rushing teams in the NFL, even with an offense that couldn't throw. So that's something, I guess, but we were significantly worse than every other team at passing. And a lot of this has to do with all the lost yards on sacks, which we probably took more sacks than anybody else in the league. We had very few touchdowns this year, just 30 on offense, and we also had the third least first downs. As far as our defense goes, we ended up with one of the lower ranked passing defenses. We gave up too many yards there, but did really well against the run. As far as points go, we did allow a lot of points. I think a lot of that has to do with the field position allowed to our opponents and everything. We did lead the league in sacks with both Von Miller and Bradley Chubb getting over 16 this season. I think the defense is fine. It just needs a little bit of help to succeed. If we check out our third down offense, second worst with a 38% conversion rate, which is horrible. In the red zone, we score most of the time down there, and for once, I don't really think our red zone offense was an issue. It was just getting there. We had the least red zone trips on the season, but when we did get there, we were able to score touchdowns. And a lot of that had to do with Jake Butt at tight end. How about this? Obviously, we're still having less penalties than everybody else, but we actually had 56 this year, which I like to see because, one, we're not very good. We should have holding calls because our line isn't great. I wish they would have held more today. Maybe Locke wouldn't have been sacked so many times. But it helps us blend in more here, even if it's lower. At least it's still part of the series. And we're going to be last place here, okay? Minus 22. We averaged more than 2 giveaways per game. On the season, we totaled 20 passing touchdowns and 27 interceptions. Drew Lock played for much of the year. He had almost 300 pass attempts in the season. And let's take a look at some of his game logs here. There weren't too many games where he did not throw a pick, though. I never got into a good rhythm with him. Only 1 game did he not throw a pick, and in only 2 games did he not throw 2. So that's a lot of multi-interception games for Locke. I feel like the offensive line wasn't very good. The receivers weren't that great at times. And Locke's accuracy just wasn't all that reliable. All in all, it wasn't all his fault, but I don't think we can count on Locke moving into the future. We also had Joe Flacco start for the first part of the season, and at least then we took less sacks and threw less interceptions. Not sure what was so different about our games with Locke, but the sack rate and touchdown rate both skyrocketed playing with him. On the ground, Philip Lindsay was really good, but only played in 9 games this season. He averaged 5.1 yards per carry and was a very good big play threat for us. He obviously couldn't produce what he did in his rookie campaign, but he still showed a high yard per carry, and I enjoyed playing with him. Here were his top performances this season, 3 games over 100 yards. I have no complaints when it comes to him. And when Royce Freeman had to be the main back, I feel like we did find a way for him to succeed. His numbers this season, very similar to his rookie numbers. I think he'll have largely the same role next year. He only had 1 100-yard game, but overall I feel like he plays his role pretty well. In the passing game, there really wasn't a major standout. Deshaun Hamilton played all 16 games and produced 641 yards. I like Hamilton and Sutton, but right now I don't see them as any more than number 2 receivers, and I still don't see them as being quite there yet. Right now, they're kind of number 3, number 4 receivers. I do feel that Sutton has a pretty good chance to become our number 2 as early as next season, but he still has some development to do. He's got to get more consistent. The route running has to get better. He ended up playing 12 games for us. Emmanuel Sanders was the most reliable, as you would expect. However, he's now a free agent, and who knows if he'll be coming back next season. I really liked having Jake Butt on the team this year. I did want to get him a yard in this last game, but failed to, as he ends up with 499 yards, but he had 6 touchdowns. He made some of our biggest plays this year in the passing game, and while the numbers aren't special, I feel he was really good for the most part. Andre Holmes contributed nicely. Noah Fant, we don't know a ton about him yet. Obviously, he needed some time to develop, and next year I plan to feature him a little bit more, and hopefully he is ready for an increased role. But he still doesn't have a single game over 40 yards. Here are the rest of the receiving stats, and that means now we get to look at our blocking stats. 30 sacks allowed for Connor McGovern. He will not be the starting center next season. We have to upgrade that spot. This is not going to work again. Connor McGovern was the weak link on the offensive line. McGovern wasn't the only player that struggled, but certainly his struggles stood out more than anybody else. He's just not a great pass blocker, and he's probably not going to be. Jawan James gave up 15 sacks, Reisner 12, Leary 10, and then Garrett Bowles, for all the holding calls, only allowed 4 sacks. I'll take it. The penalties hurt the offense a lot, but he was the only offensive lineman to allow less than 10 sacks. And if you look at Bowles' ratings, he's a decent pass blocker, but he's an even better run blocker. So I still think he's pretty valuable. We need Garrett Bowles going into next year. He's not going to be replaced. On defense, I feel that we were a pretty good defensive football team overall. We obviously had 2 really good edge rushers. Von Miller leads the team with 17.5 sacks. Bradley Chubb had 16. Derek Wolfe had 8. I thought he played really well late in the season. I'd still like to find some more secondary pass rushers to rotate in and to have more of an impact. I feel like our secondary played pretty well, although in Week 17 I was pretty disappointed in how they handled the Oakland passing game. Kareem Jackson led the team with 4 interceptions. Justin Simmons had 3. Parks and Harris had 2. And with all of this being said, I have created new contracts for Simmons, Parks, and Harris, and I'm pretty sure Jackson's under contract already for multiple years. So you should expect to see the same team, the same secondary next year. I'd also like to say that Josie Jewell, I think, showed enough to be one of our starting inside linebackers, but I still want somebody who can cover a bit more ground and be more of a force against the top receiving tight ends and pass catching backs. I keep going into the wrong screen. I just want to see his ratings. But Jewell is a good run defender, but he also made some plays against the pass. It's just, he's only 78 speed. I have to find someone to pair up with him. Chris Harris led the team with 11 pass deflections and 4 touchdowns. We had 3 on defense this season. With Brandon McManus, perfect on extra points, only missed 1 field goal this season, and we punted 76 times with Colby Wadman. I had only a 25-yard average with Devontae Booker, nothing special. A 10-yard average, though, on punt returns, which is okay. Yeah, drink first. Yeah, Bowles was already old when he got drafted, so it's not like he's going to be a long-term solution in this series. It's going to be hard to keep him after his rookie deal's up. So here are the league leaders with Tom Brady at 5,000 plus yards. And Andrew Luck had 43 touchdowns. We had 4 players over 40. Most interceptions. Drew Lock. How about rushing? Ezekiel Elliott. Almost 300 yards more than Saquon Barkley, who came in 2nd place. Alvin Kamara came in 3rd. Here are all the 1,000-yard rushers. And the most touchdowns also goes to Zeke. For receivers, Julio Jones had 1,300 yards, but Cole Beasley had more touchdowns and a higher yards per reception. Madden needs to look at how they're handling slot production because this should not be the case. Keenan Allen was very productive. Golden Tate, big year for Demaryius Thomas. And then Odell, Albert Wilson, all the 1,000-yard receivers. I saw one surprise there, and that was that Chester Rogers did so well. I wonder if he'll get a development boost this season. I don't know if Kendricks will make All-Pro, but I think in real life he's playing at a Pro Bowl level. He's been really good this season. I think easily the best he's ever been. Most touchdowns also went to Chester Rogers with 16. Most sacks allowed, Connor McGovern. On defense, most sacks, that goes to Von Miller. But there might be someone missing here because still, for some reason in season stats, they exclude, I think, right outside linebackers, or maybe not. They do exclude players, though. I've seen it time and time again in the Bucs series. Bobby Wagner, 6 interceptions. That led the league. Then Jalen Ramsey, Patrick Peterson. Oh, yeah, I think if I go to sacks and sort it by conference, I'll find anybody who's possibly missing. So 17.5, 16. And if I go AFC, still the case. NFC, okay. Doesn't seem like anybody's missing here, but I know in my recent Bucs season there was someone missing. Here are all the playoff teams for this season. The top seeds were the Colts and the Packers, but here were the rest of the playoff teams. And the lowest record to get in was 9-7 for both Carolina and Kansas City. The Chargers, again, missed the playoffs. The Ravens were the only undefeated team at home, but they also were 2-6 on the road. Very interesting. Meanwhile, the Colts were 7-1 on the road, and the Packers were as well. I like that the game keeps track of stuff like this. Who's ever checked out the outdoor win-loss record? Thoughts on Mohamed Sanu to the Pats? I like that trade a lot for them. I think Sanu is a solid wide receiver. He's I think he's a good possession guy, but he's also a really good route runner. Probably not going to throw too many deep balls his way, but I just see him filling into that offense really well. And I think that Josh McDaniels will draw up a trick play or two for him too, because he's one of the best trick play receivers in the game. Try to trade for Jerome Baker, Batmac Gaming. I'll have to think about some potential trades for the offseason. Not sure what I have in mind yet. I haven't checked out like players that I could look at trying to make a deal for. But we're going to sim our way then to the Super Bowl. Packers will win it all this year. What do you think of this statement? I don't think it's that unreasonable. I think they're a really good, well-rounded team. If they win, it wouldn't shock me. It would hurt me, though. I'd be sad. For at least, like, 15 minutes. Here is your Pro Bowl... Here is your Pro Bowl roster. I'm not sure we're going to have too many players on our team, but maybe Von Miller, Bradley Chubb. Andy Janovich gets recognized as a Pro Bowler. Love seeing that. I do think he deserved it. I wonder how the game decides which fullbacks make it. Nobody else on offense. And then Von Miller, Bradley Chubb. Very nice to see. And River Craycraft as a punt returner. 4 Pro Bowlers on this particular team. So as many Pro Bowlers as wins. And it looks like we have our Super Bowl matchup. The Panthers and the Chiefs. In the wild card round, Baltimore won 35-21. And Lamar Jackson had 2 touchdowns. Matt Barkley had to play this game. He had 3 interceptions and 3 touchdowns. But the Ravens running game, maybe too much. Mark Ingram, $122 and 2 scores. The Panthers defeated the Dallas Cowboys, so they had to be wild card road warriors with Cam Newton getting 4 touchdowns and McCaffrey outrushing Ezekiel Elliott. 3 touchdown receptions for McCaffrey as well. Are you excited for Madden on next-gen consoles? Thank you, Andrew. I'd say in general, I'm not excited for the new console simply because it's just like we get such good-looking games now. I more so want to see how about cracking down on some of the publishers and some of the decisions they're making with their games and some of the buggy games that are being released. I'd be way more excited to hear something about that. You know, Madden doesn't do enough to create excitement personally. I still enjoy my time playing the game, but I know that it should be a lot better. It should be a better game. I don't really get hyped up, though, for Madden the way I do for some other games that I'm interested in. The Chiefs beat Jacksonville on Wild Card Weekend. 600 yards of offense. Mahomes nearly passed for 500 in this game. Unreal. And then finally, Chicago over San Francisco in a lower scoring game. Mitchell Trubisky threw a touchdown to Anthony Miller. In the divisional round, Baltimore over Indianapolis, Carolina over Green Bay. Let's highlight the 2 Super Bowl teams here. Cam Newton, 3 more touchdowns as they intercepted Rodgers 4 times. Who did that? Eric Reed had 2, Shaq Thompson, and Bruce Irvin. And then Kansas City defeated Cleveland. Mahomes, only 278 this time. But they get it done. And in the title games, Kansas City over Baltimore. I think we'd all love to see that as the AFC title game this year. 3-1 for both Mahomes and Jackson. And then for the NFC, a close win in the NFC South Division clash. Carolina wins. No scores that time for Cam. Alex Arma, 2 rushing touchdowns as the fullback. And that brings up the Super Bowl matchup between KC and Carolina. How come I can't play the Pro Bowl? What happened? I probably wasn't going to, but why can't I play it? What's up with that? Only if the user had 10 wins? Really? They have that as a condition? What for? It's just the Pro Bowl. I am the coach. Marcus Calhoun. For the team? That's not computing for me. The Pro Bowl coach. I thought you could just play the Pro Bowl every year if you wanted to. You have to be selected? Okay. Kind of weird. By the way, we have some awards to check out. Patrick Mahomes is the MVP. Coach of the Year is Frank Reich. Where's Marcus Calhoun? Not there. Offensive Player of the Year is Andrew Luck. Defensive, Von Miller. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Marquise Hollywood Brown. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Devin Bush. Here are the rest of the awards. I still want to know why they separate the Rookie of the Years into conferences. That's not the case in the real NFL. Kyler Murray for the NFC offensive, Brian Burns defensive. How's it going, Tristan? Glad you could stop in today. Over 800 of you watching. I appreciate that. If you haven't already done so, please smash that like button. Can we get this stream up to 400 likes? 400 likes. If we can do that, maybe I'll start editing up the new playbook a little bit. We can dig around and try to find some stuff to throw into the new playbook. Oh, now the number's jumping up. 373. Garrett Smith sends a super chat. Trent Williams to Minnesota for a first-round pick. You won't get a 1. You might be able to get a 2. I'd be all for it. Hey, we're over 400 just like that. All right, we're going to do some customization. Don't mind. I just want to do one last round of scouting, I guess. You know what? We'll save it for the offseason. It'll be a good time. Allow me to save this. The recap and everything is complete. And the offseason will pick things up on Saturday. I have a lot of files, I know. Is off-season live? Yes, it will be. All right, we're all saved. And now we can start building something. Oh yeah, I still have to finish up this one here, my custom Bucks playbook. But now I have to work on a custom Denver Broncos offense. So let's try to find kind of an identity here. I really don't care for what we do in the shotgun. So I actually want to wipe out every shotgun formation. I will find some stuff on my own. Steven, thank you. What did I miss? Also predicted the game tonight. Yeah, I said the Vikings 30-12 they'll win. You missed a terrible Week 17 game though. Sorry you couldn't make it for the game. Wasn't a great one. All right, so I have to keep at least one play here. For what reason? 4 verticals cannot be removed because it's the last play in those situations. Okay. Hey, Grimmy, thank you for becoming the newest member to the channel. Greatly appreciate that. Really happy to see all the new members here on the channel, and I hope to get you guys some early access to some content here soon again. And looking forward to Saturday's channel member live stream, which will be at, that's going to be at 12 o'clock Central Time. Making sure everything is still good to go. I want to know about you guys, though. I was asked earlier about if I'm excited for Madden on the next-gen consoles. I'm not excited for Madden on there because, like, Madden doesn't take these great strides anyway. They need to do a lot more with, you know, franchise and the offline experience. So I'm not going to get myself hyped up over that. But in general, like, do you care about these new consoles? PS4 and Xbox One are pretty good. Sure, frame rate's going to be better, probably 4K 60 across both platforms, and the frame rate bump is going to be nice. But is there really anything else to be excited about? Like, you can put out amazing exclusives now, and some of these marquee titles like Red Dead Redemption 2, It's like, what does the PS5 and the Xbox 720, whatever it's going to be, what is that really going to bring to the table? I feel there are going to be a lot of people that just chill with these consoles and don't upgrade, and I can't blame them. Thank you, Andrew, for becoming a member. And Steven, rebuild the Pirates for MLB The Show's next game. I like to do another MLB series. I'm not sure which team yet. There are a few that I have in mind, potentially. But I love playing the show. I love playing that game. I don't care about the consoles much, but I'm super excited for Bethesda's Starfield. Okay. Yeah, I think there are certainly some games to be excited for still. You know, the jump, I think, from PS3 and 360 to this gen was pretty big in terms of visuals. I think this next one is going to be more about frame rate. What kind of scheme would you prefer with the Broncos? I still want a lot of power. But I also want to find a way to... I need to get some more RPOs in the offense. I would like to borrow a lot from probably the Cardinals playbook. I've played with that one a little bit, and I really liked it. Am I a GTA fan? I'm not like a huge GTA fan. Usually enjoy the games for the most part. Can't say I'm like super hyped up for it though. Let's see. I wanted to empty out the playbook a little bit and then start adding things. I got like 200 plays a room, so why don't I start to find some more shotgun to bring in. We're probably not going to do a lot of 4 and 5 wide though, just because we're not that deep, so I'm not going to add that in. Like in the Minnesota Dynasty, when I first started building that playbook, I had no 5 wide sets. I'm not even sure I had a 4 wide set. We weren't deep enough, so I wasn't going to waste my time with that. And I feel we're kind of there right now with Denver. So I'd really like to find some solid formations here that can get some RPO game going and kind of go from there. But I really did not like our shotgun formations at all this season. I just, you know, it's just a thing that I do. I stick with the playbook for the first year. I just deal with it. Yeah, Bunch always has a lot of good plays. There are a ton in here. I do not think Madden 20 is worse than 19. I think it's better in a lot of ways, but Madden 19 also set a pretty low bar. A lot of plays in this one that I do like. Don't want to get too many, though, from one formation, because then it gets tough to find the play. Like, if you're looking for something specific, it gets a little bit difficult. And you can only see 3 at a time, so I'd already have to scroll 7 times to get through the whole thing. So I might optimize this a little bit, especially because so many concepts are more universal. You can find them just about anywhere. Oh, wow. Check out this end around. And a reverse. And a fake reverse. Really curious about these plays here. So I have 26 plays in here. What can I do without? I don't want too many. I also want to know, is there inside zone from this? I need to have at least one basic inside run. Halfback base. That works. Yeah, these plays are pretty similar. I'll get rid of that one. I'm never throwing that corner route. All right, or the circle route. 21 is enough for that play, that formation. Does Montrell Bond's injury mean we'll play Fresno State next year? I'm not sure. But it wasn't all that enjoyable to watch him only get 6 carries. So, I don't know. I think it'll depend on what you guys want to see for that. We want Wildcat? Let's take a look. I think there are only a handful of Wildcat plays this year. Yeah, 6. 6 whole Wildcat plays. And 3 of them have your quarterback just standing off in the middle of nowhere. Does it bother you to not see your captains with the captain's patch? I'm pretty sure they have it actually the way it's supposed to be in game. Certain teams don't display their captain's patches. Some teams do. If you Google Von Miller, I see captain's patch on Von. In some of these images of Von Miller don't have a captain's patch. Most of them don't, but some do. Why is that? Most of these don't. Couldn't tell ya. There's a mystery. Run the Wildcat, throw a touchdown to Heikkinen. It might have to happen. Who'd be our Wildcat quarterback, though? I do think we're going to get some pistol in this playbook, and I want to know... I'm not sure how many there would be. I'd like to get some pistol, though, with a fullback. Full house will do it. I'm looking for just, like, remove one of those receivers and put a fullback offset. So what am I looking for exactly? It's not full house. It's not open slot. It's not Philly. It certainly isn't spread. Pistol strong. That's one. I wing might be a little too power for me. And then slot strong. 2 receivers to the same side. This one removes the fullback. I don't know if I like that idea. Or it removes the tight end. 3 receivers. A fullback. I certainly want some fullback, though, in this one. Sharkwez Towns somehow pull off drafting both. I don't know if I'll be taking running back that early. Have you seen our center, Connor McGovern? He gave up 30 sacks this season. 30-3-0. Power option. All right, I'm cool adding these plays. And I can go into practice and kind of find some stuff that I know I'm not going to use if I want to really optimize this playbook. Daryl, I've only seen my kick meter disappear 1 time. It came at a horrible time. But it's only happened to me once, and I really hope it doesn't happen in a key moment. What playbook are you trying to make? I'm just trying to make a custom one. I want to make something that I want to use for Season 2. I'm not making the whole thing right now, but I wanted to do a fair amount of customization and maybe go into practice with it so I can figure out what I really like and don't like. But I despise that Broncos playbook, so obviously I have to build my own. So you could see a lot of power pistol from this team. Which, when I had the Minnesota Dynasty, I tried to be more spread. But with this team, I want to be a bit more focused on the power. Am I going to trade Emmanuel Sanders like in real life? He's not under contract with me. And I'm not worried about what happens in real life once my season gets underway. How many wins do I expect next year? Hard to say. But I think we'll be able to step it up to 6 or more next year, hopefully. Oh, we can get some music going now. You guys should have told me we needed some tunes. I certainly don't want to add everything here. I may not need all these plays, though. They might become a little redundant. Yeah, I think Ravens power and halfback power O are like the same play. Alright, 14 is good. Would I trade up for Heikkinen? I don't know if I'm still a little iffy on if I wanted to trade up. But I don't think I'll need to. Like, I don't think it makes sense to trade up with Miami. They're at number 1. I feel like I have to just let them do whatever they're going to do. I feel that's the most fair because teams don't put picks off limits in Madden. It's kind of unfair. So I'm probably not going to trade up to Miami. But I think I would trade up to 2. Because the teams ahead of us are the Dolphins, and then it might be us. But then there's the Cardinals and the Texans, and they shouldn't take Heikkinen. The Dolphins may, I don't know, they have Rosen. I'm not sure how the game is going to approach this situation. I'm really unsure about it. Ooh, RPOs. Need those. All right, 15 plays from that playbook. That gives me 5 scrolls. Let's go find some 3-wide shotgun now. I recognize this formation from the Panthers series. I had a lot of these plays in there. This formation probably entirely. I can probably find a lot of stuff in doubles. It's just a lot of what was already there by default. I didn't have much interest in calling. Skinny posts. Okay. You got my attention. Jet pass. Slants. Draw. Let's do curl flat, drag, read, Y shallow, our playbook was desperately needing some mesh concepts. We had like none in the Broncos default book. Try not to go more than 21 plays from any formation. That's one of my favorite RPOs right there. Can anyone remind me? I tweeted out a long time ago, a few months ago, this RPO. And I want to make sure I have it. I really liked this one particular RPO, but I can't remember what it was because it's been months now. Gonna be tough to remember it. I can't remember if it was a peak, bubble, or alert, but it had like 3 players going out for routes. They just gave you so many options. It was so difficult to like defend. Zone, peak, bubble? I'm not sure it was a peak. Hope I can find it. If not, it's not a big deal. I'll find plenty of RPOs for this new playbook. And it was probably in the Arizona playbook. It was in the Colts. Ah, you might be right. Let me save this. Hey, Batmac, thank you for the super chat. Kick meters disappear when you have longer quarters. I guess the game has a set number of animations to use for games, so when that's exceeded, it's gone? Really? That is an odd glitch. I've only seen it happen to me once, and it was in overtime, so that seems to line up with what you're saying. So all I have to do is go into Indianapolis's playbook and go through like 500 plays until I find the one. Oh, it's only 388. Nice. I can't remember what alignment it was from. I probably have a video on my second channel of me running it. But I've already made it this far. It's probably at least a 2 or 3 receiver set. I know it has the tight end going up the seam. I want to say. Who do I think will win the AFC South? I think Indy's got it. They're just a well-rounded, well-coached team. I want to like the Texans, but it's like their offensive line is an issue. Their defense isn't top tier. Like, I just can't see them winning the division. They can win any game. It's just sustained success with that team, I think, is tougher to rely on. But on an individual game basis, like, yeah, they're going to be in most of their games and win a lot of them. But they're going to lose a lot, too. Would I trade a draft pick for a solid veteran lineman if I was so desperate? Like, after playing a year with Connor McGovern, giving up 30 sacks? I'd have to. I probably wouldn't give up a first-round pick, though, unless we were a playoff caliber team, but I think a future 2 or 3 is not out of the question. That's it. That's it. RPO bubble Y pop. You have square on an option route. He can run a streak or just a quick curl, quick hitch. Hey, T-Clink, thank you for becoming the newest member to the channel. You get a bubble on the right side. You can run it off tackle. You can throw a quick hitter to your tight end. RPO, bubble Y pop. That's it. Thank you for whoever said that I had to check this playbook. And it's in shotgun, Y off trips. I'm not going to go for Breeze because I want someone who can be a long-term answer at quarterback, and I don't think we're a quarterback away from the Super Bowl in this series. Let's switch it up. Do you upload your playbooks to Madden Share? Yeah, when they're final, I do. Yes. And I'll also upload the draft class after I get to use it for the first time. Who has surprised you most in the Vikings this season? I'm really pleasantly surprised by Eric Kendricks. I'd say for the first few years of his career, he's been an average to above average, but I think he's further separating himself with his play this season, and I think he's playing at a Pro Bowl level. What are my plans this free agency? Well, whether it be free agent or the draft, with the Broncos, I need to go find a speedy wide receiver, someone that can stretch the field. I picked up Richie James when I did because he fits what I'm looking for, but I need to find another player to compete. I need to find a new center. I need to look at potential guard options if Reisner doesn't play better next season. I need to look at getting a linebacker. And those, I'd say, are the top needs. Quarterback, center, receiver, linebacker. I'll make the draft class public, but I don't want people spoiling, so after draft, I'll make it available. Thank you, Blackjack. Appreciate that. I appreciate you building the draft class so we can finally see Heikkinen play again. Just think about it. Last year, the Dolphins series didn't work out, didn't see Heikkinen. And in his senior season, the guy gets hurt for the whole year. So we missed him then. We've been waiting for Jesse Heikkinen to retake the field. Was it the kick meter that made you tweet about the updates? No. It was the reason why I was a little upset about the updates for Madden was because, like, now the rest of the cycle is going to be them knee-jerk reactioning to whatever happens online with abilities. They're throwing new abilities into the game. They're going to have to constantly tweak because they're going to be overpowered, and then they're going to have to tweak some more to get them right based off of complaining on the internet. So the offline game this time of year, as soon as those complaints come into play, the offline experience always gets the worst end of these updates. And they constantly wreck our slider sets and everything else. So I don't have much more faith in patches being any good for us the rest of the way. Will I possibly go after a big name free agent? Yeah, I think so. We'll have a rookie quarterback. I'm probably going to get rid of Flacco and create some cap space. So we'll have some space to work with, I think. Yeah, I'd like some help when it comes to the equipment. That's one thing they have added to the game, about 49 different helmets and 86 versions of cleats. So might as well go through them and customize my players a little bit more than I have in the past. Where would I rank Dalvin Cook in the MVP race? Not that high, to be perfectly honest. I think CMC would be higher, you know, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. You know, when I think about the MVP race, that's who I think of. Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, and then Rodgers potentially, Mahomes. Russell Wilson maybe, but if he ends up like, you know, not having like a huge statistical season, then he's not going to beat Mahomes. And if Lamar takes that team to a division title and he breaks the rushing record for quarterback, then I think he's got a really good chance to take it. Do I see Madden adding mouthpieces? Yeah, that sounds like the type of thing they do. Yeah, Rodgers was a cheat code against Oakland, for sure. Mahomes is injured, yeah, but he might not miss much time. I still think he misses this weekend. I know there's buzz about him playing, but I think it's smoke. I think they want the Packers to still prepare for Mahomes. Do I think there'll be coordinators in Madden 21? I mean, if I had to predict, I'd say no. But it feels like if they do want to do something significant to the mode, that could be the next step. Yep, member stream is going to be at noon Central Time. Member stream Saturday at noon. They'll go for around an hour, then we'll break and come back for the off-season 2 o'clock. I do think there will be some other big trades, James. I could see, first of all, if Washington doesn't deal Trent Williams, they're dumb. You gotta trade Trent Williams. I also think Chris Harris is possible. Patrick Peterson is possible, but the Cardinals keep winning, so that makes it a bit more difficult. OJ Howard I also see as a possibility. If I were him, I would not be happy with the situation in Tampa. How's the playbook coming along? Not too bad. I'm just taking a cashew break. I want OJ on the Pats. I can't let that happen. We can't let that happen. Thoughts on the Nationals? Think they're going to get that ring? Got a great start. Anyone to Packers need a receiver, I think. Right there with you. Manny Sanders being dealt hurts that a little bit. And the receiver market ain't cheap. Golden Tate went for a 3 last year. Who just got dealt for a 2? Sanu. If Mohamed Sanu goes for a 2, do the Packers make that kind of a move for a similar caliber player? And who would that player be? I think a player like Sanu would have been right for Green Bay. So who's left? To me, the player that makes the most sense for them would have to be, that comes to mind immediately anyway, maybe there's somebody better, but what about Devontae Parker? If they could swing that for like a 3. But being a team trying to chase a Super Bowl, maybe they want somebody a bit more established and proven. Boyd? I don't think Tyler Boyd's available. Let's see, who are some other awful teams who should trade some players? Jarvis went for a 4, Parker's like a 5 and a 6 the following year. But the market, you got to think about the market this year. Sanu went for a 2. Manny Sanders went for some sort of pick swap. I don't think you'll get Parker for a 5. I think maybe a 4. AJ Green, yeah, I wonder about him for sure. I still think that Green could fetch a 1 from a team like Green Bay if they want to get aggressive. I really do think he could go for a 1 because I think there'd be a bidding war. He may still be hurt. Hard to say. I don't know what's going on with AJ Green. I'm not sure Larry Fitz is available. Like, think about this if you're Arizona. What's more valuable? A 3rd round pick, which you conceivably get for Larry Fitzgerald, or the rest of the year, Larry Fitz helping Kyler Murray. I think that that's a lot more valuable than a 3rd round pick. Because who's Kyler Murray surrounded by? Guys with less than a year of experience. We're talking Keyshawn Johnson, Andy Isabella, Christian Kirk has been hurt a little bit. He has a year of experience. You do not trade Larry Fitzgerald if you're the Cardinals. They need him to help Kyler along the way. If they trade him, that is a dumb move. Kenny Stills? Will Fuller's banged up. No, they're not going to trade him. Kiki QT's already injury prone. They can't afford to give up receiver depth. I don't think Kiki's the kind of player Green Bay would need. They need someone who can stay on the outside, I think, and you know, if they can get someone who can just be a possession guy, then, you know, Valdez-Scantling can just be the deep threat. Allison, slot. Adams, he can do it all when he's healthy. But the Packers could use maybe one more, but have to come with the right price. Nah, Julio ain't getting traded. XP sliders? So there's someone on the Operation Sports forums, T-Dog. He makes XP sliders. I'm using his right now. Keenan Allen, I wouldn't think he's available. That'd be a major shakeup if he got dealt. Josh Gordon, if he gets released, would be perfect. Don't say that, Jonathan. I'm gonna pretend you did not say that. Chris Hogan. Carolina's not playing him, so might as well give up a 6th conditional pick or something. Yeah, Frost Inferno, I agree. I agree. I think when you start to ask these guys to do some of the more complex things at receiver, and they're having to just, you know, play the sticks perfectly and have all these perfect timing routes with Rodgers, it's not where they're going to succeed the most. MVS is a deep threat. So just send him downfield and find someone else to do some of this dirty work on 3rd and 7. No, I don't see DD getting traded. The Jaguars, they're in the hunt. They're totally in the hunt. Adam Humphries, not with that contract. That contract makes him untradeable. They overpaid. How about Robbie Anderson? That's like Sam Darnold's favorite receiver. Why would they do that? Like, if you want to make Sam Darnold a more confident quarterback, I think the best way is to throw like a 50-yard bomb to Robbie Anderson. Don't trade him. Xavier Howard to the Chiefs? The Dolphins can't get rid of everybody. I feel that you can't give up both Minka and Xavier Howard. Not both. Keep Howard. You want Jimmy Graham gone? I knew that wasn't going to be the right deal for them. The draft on Saturday. So Benjamin, the offseason will begin 2:00 p.m. Central Time this Saturday. Where does Melvin Gordon go if he gets traded? I could see Detroit if they win their next game. I could also see Detroit's a logical landing spot for him. Just trying to think more about another team. I want to say like the Bills, because all they have is like Devin Singletary and Frank Gore. So that wouldn't be a bad team to take a chance on Gordon. What about the Vikings? I mean, the only player that makes sense to me would be like Trent Williams or a third receiver. A third receiver would make sense, but it depends who's out there. Like, who would I want? I would want Larry Fitzgerald. I'd absolutely want Larry. Just get a good route runner who can get open. And when everybody's focused on Diggs and Thielen, give me a guy who's going to win one-on-one on some easy stuff. That's Larry Fitzgerald. Who else could there be to fill that role? Tough to say. No one really comes to mind. Frost Inferno, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate that. Who are the next coaches to get fired, and who do you think are the next stud coordinators and coaching options? Guys like Bieniemy and DiFilippo seem logical. I think Quinn is going to be on the way out soon. Like, the defense is playing like garbage. They're not looking any better. They got embarrassed against Atlanta. And it's one thing to lose and compete. It's another thing to just get laughed out of the building. And they've just been laughed out of the building far too much this season. So I think Dan Quinn's next. I also think that... there was another coach I wanted to bring up. Maybe it'll come to me. But stud coordinators. Yeah, DiFilippo didn't really work out in Minnesota, but things are going a lot better for him now in Jacksonville. So, you know, it wouldn't shock me if he gets into the conversation again. He was around the Eagles when they were at their peak and everything. And as far as designing a passing game, he does that pretty well. It's just, I think Minnesota kind of gave him a bad deal with the offensive line and the way the running game was like. And also, you know, Cousins, I don't think succeeds in a high volume passing game very well. I feel like he needs a bit more balance so he can run a lot of the play action. That's where he really succeeds. I don't think Cousins is going to be a good drop back and throw it 45 times type of guy ever. So DiFilippo does make some sense to me. I also think about Greg Roman with the Ravens because of the success he's had, not only in Baltimore, but also in San Francisco. So, it's kind of shocking to me that he doesn't have a head coaching gig by now, but I'm sure that's the potential is gonna be there pretty soon. Anthony Lynn, if the Chargers don't turn it around, yeah, I really want to see the Chargers turn it around. I was actually kind of upset when they screwed it up on Sunday, but part of me had to also be like, you know, this is what they do. The Chargers just mess things up as much as possible. So you can't get that angry because you knew it was going to happen. Yep, this will be uploaded to YouTube as a separate video, and I'll also be editing this down for a more compact episode that finishes out the Broncos season. I'm not sure about Pittsburgh because, like, is it smart to give up assets to make a trade when your starting quarterback is Mason Rudolph and you'd rather run the Wildcat with Jalen Samuels than have him, like, run your regular offense? I don't think that's a smart use of assets, personally. See. Hopefully there's more than just one play I really like from this book, this formation. If I can find this play that I like in another formation, I'd like to do that instead. I don't love Y-off trips. Gruden is gone. What, John Gruden? I don't think John Gruden's going anywhere for a few years. That man's got a $100 million guaranteed contract. I think it's more likely that he gets Jay Gruden on his staff at some point this season. A corner to KC? You know, not quite sure. They need to go find one. I'm not sure if the Cardinals are shopping Patrick Peterson. If they could do that, that'd be the best move I think they could make. But almost anybody could be an upgrade for the Chiefs secondary. Jay will be on his staff next year. He's taking the season off. All right. Makes sense. Raiders make the wild card possibly. Possibly, but I think it's more likely they end up 7-9. The Quandre Diggs trade, a little surprising to me. What a quality move for their secondary. Sorry, I got cashew bits all over the inside of my mouth. I'm trying to take care of that. What's for dinner tonight? Help me with that one. I've been trying to figure it out all day. Vikes play at 7:30, so I got plenty of time. I don't care about a late dinner tonight. Having a good time chilling with all of you today. I appreciate you being here, helping me kill a little time. And also finish out the season, of course. Chipotle, Five Guys, barbecue. I had some barbecue for lunch and for dinner last night. Love it. A burrito bowl doesn't sound too bad. If I carb up a little bit, I can always grind out a little Call of Duty. Might not be a bad plan. Lasagna. I really want to make some lasagna soon. Really bad. I only ever have lasagna a few times a year just because you have to bake it for like 45 minutes. And if I just want to make pasta, that can be a done deal in like 15. Well, it's even tougher for me to pick lasagna. You know, you always got to keep a few things in the freezer or whatever for when you don't want to cook, but you still want to eat something decent. That's not a bowl of cereal. My go-to lately in a pinch has been frozen ravioli. And, oh man, you can whip up a dinner in no time with frozen ravioli. It's good. I actually really like it. I've got to find some shotgun plays that I do not despise. Ugh. Who do I think will score the most points for the Vikings tonight? Points-wise or fantasy points-wise? I think it'll be Dalvin. I think without Diggs, they'll want to make it a Dalvin game. And I'm not sure Washington can stop it. Blackjack says pizza, and that's not sounding too bad either. I just moved. I gotta find out more about the pizza around here. The Pats traded Bennett to the Cowboys? Okay. Sometimes people come in here and they say stuff happens, and I can't tell if they're telling the truth or not, but apparently Michael Bennett traded to the Cowboys. For a 7th round pick that can go to a 6th. So they're basically giving him to Dallas. Patriots make so many trades. I wonder if they make they have to be the most trade heavy team in the league, right? Did I say Diggs ain't playing? I meant Thielen ain't playing. But I think without Thielen, you know, they're going to want to make this a cook game as quick as possible, get him going, build a lead, and not worry about a 7th round pick playing number 2 receiver. Is bunch trail in your offense? I think in my last formation I really went deep into, I added a bunch trail play. I like it. If it's not there, I'll make sure there is one. Whole bunch of RPOs in this playbook. Blackjack, did you get pretty far into Detroit last night? I fell asleep after a while. Been wanting to follow your run there a little bit. I like that game a lot. What will the Giants do with Eli Manning? Probably keep him a career Giant forever. Think you're halfway through. Yeah, Detroit's a really fun game. There are a fair amount of new plays in here that I haven't actually ran myself before. I like a lot of the new RPOs. That's really the bulk of the new stuff, though. Let me go to what I have so far. I do have shotgun, bunch, doubles, doubles offset weak, Y off trio weak, and Y off trips. That's probably a pretty good start. That's 28 plus 18 plus 9 plus 1 plus 7. That's like 72 plays. I didn't compute that at all. I'm just guessing. But decent start there. And then in the pistol, yeah, I don't want full Panther though. I'll have to take some time to go a lot more through this though and finalize it, but that's a good start on the playbook at least. There's a Wildcat play that goes for a touchdown every time. You should try it in practice. There are only 6 Wildcat plays, and you're telling me is a money play? A big time money play? Maybe I'll jump into practice a little bit here and just see some of these new plays I've added into this one. It'll be a slightly different version of the Broncos, but why not? Do I think Edelman will go to the Hall of Fame? No, I just think that he'll maybe be Patriots Hall of Fame or something like that. So why don't we check out some of these pistol plays? It's been a while since I had featured like a pistol offense. So should be interesting to see if I enjoy running it on Madden, because my only real experience is using it on NCAA. So a little triple option in here, which you need a more mobile quarterback to really pull off effectively. But then I want to have some good standard passing plays from it at the same time. And it's just well covered. We throw it right by Josie Jewell. But for sure, like, this is a way for me to just get Janovich on the field and hopefully have some more unique formations. And it might not be a bad idea for me to go and put that formation in the playbook that has no tight ends, a fullback, and 3 receivers. That's one of the more unique ways I can involve Janovich in the offense. And then, of course, every now and then, gotta hand it to him. He can't just block every play. He wants the ball every once in a while. Oh yeah, I'm keeping Philip Lindsay. No worries there. Drew Lock, not the starter next season. No, I am looking to find his replacement. I need someone that I think can become a top flight quarterback. Come on, I want to see some different plays. Help me out here. That's Flacco. There are some passes in this playbook, right? Jeez. That was nice. I think I'll have a lot more fun calling the plays next season with the revamped playbook. I'm throwing like every RPO, by the way, because that's part of why I want them in the game. I don't need to practice my running right now. I just want to, see what can happen on some of these runs. Skinny posts. I love this play. Do you see why? We have some size at receiver, and it's one of the better ways to take advantage of it. Run those skinny posts. Box out the defensive back, throw it up. They should come down with it every now and then. That was mean. Can we just play 7-on-7 so I can practice a little bit easier? Practicing with Von Miller is not fun. Did all 5 of you lose? Seriously? I gotta watch this again. All 5 of you decided nope. Well. I gotta replace all of them, I guess. Oh, man. Well, everybody, I think that's going to end today's live stream, but I'll be back again on Saturday with the channel member live stream at 12 o'clock Central Time. And then we'll be doing the Broncos off-season for year 1, and we'll see, you know, if we can find our next quarterback of the future going into season 2. But that is going to do it for this one, everybody. Hope you had a good time with it. Please leave a like if you did and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all with more content shortly, including a brand new episode of the Kalispell Warhawks Dynasty that will be going live here in just a few minutes. So thank you all again, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.